refusing to do what you're asking them to do, you either have to turn up the heat or you have to get out of the kitchen. And so Britain decided to get out of the kitchen. But how did Gandhi pay for stepping outside of the cave? How did he pay? With his life. He paid with his life. Dr. Martin Luther King is another example that I think about. He said the world can be different. I've been to the mountaintop is what he says, and I've seen the promised land, and we can get there. And how did he pay for that? With his life. My question to you is it better to be the free person or the prisoner? You say free. What I like to give you some more information before I ask you to answer that question again. When you are the free person, what that means is that there will be people who are assigned to your life as your assassinators. Now, I'm not saying that you walk around with a red scope on you or anything like that, but there are people who will do character assassinations. Oftentimes you'll hear, particularly when I'm working with frontline staff, is that they'll be trying to change their behavior, and the rest of their team will say, well, why are you acting like that? Why are you trying to be different? You are trying to impress so-and-so or so, and the person's like, no, I'm just trying to change how I do my work. And one of the things it also means is that when you are the person, the free prisoner, you will be outside of the norm, and you may be by yourself. And so the real question is, are you willing to be that leader, to step out and say to the person who's asking you to push a button, no, I'm not going to do that, because there's some dangers to that. You might lose your reputation, or there may be a risk to your perceived integrity, right? But are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be the person that said, you know what, he said just build blocks. I'm going to build the kind of blocks that I want to build. I don't necessarily have to do what other folks are doing, because I can do it myself. And one of the prime lessons that I've learned is that when you are being who you are, other people have to make decisions about who they want to be around you. Short story. Silver Lake. It's not too far from here, right up 65. And so I would go there as my private swimming hole. And when I would go there, I had, at that point in time, I had dreads, and they went down to about my elbow. So I don't know about you, but I'm a black person. I forgot to mention that. And so I don't like getting my hair wet, because it does crazy things. And so I would put my hair in a big ponytail and tie it up. And I had this ritual that I would use when going to the lake. And I would get into about my knees and wait till, I got settled in. And then I get into about my waist. And then I would get into my ribs. And sometimes it was really cold. So I'm like, and so this particular day, there were these kids, about 6 or 8 teenagers, about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 feet away, and they were splashing and laughing like they were in some kind of Coke commercial, and they were having just a good old time. And I'm standing there, and I start getting really angry. I get mad. Why am I getting mad? Because their splashing is getting me wet and getting my hair wet. And then all of a sudden, after I cooled my ears down and I started taking some deep breaths, I started laughing. And why did I start laughing? Because I'm standing in water and I'm getting wet. Which meant they were enjoying themselves. I was not going to change what they were doing, but that gave me an opportunity to look at my choices. And I had 2 choices. I could either what? Join in the fun or get out of the lake. All too often we have family members, we have friends, we have people around us, and we will have people give us this piece of bad advice, which is you have to cut those people off. You can't have those people around you. And what I would say is you hold on to your standards, your beliefs, what you know to be true and right, and they will fall off. They have the decisions to make, not you. As supervisors, your your employees, the people around you in your personal life are all trying to get this safety, significance, and belonging. And our job is to give or create atmospheres where they can do this and be aware that there are these caves, these things, these fears, these dark places that people have that oftentimes keep them confined and bound in their minds. And part of our job is to help them figure out if they want to be in the cave or if they want to be outside of the cave. And if you choose to be outside of the cave, know that we have to be supportive of one another. And the way that we're supportive of one another is that we make sure that we give everyone their dignity and honor for being human. So let's go back to this the green card. What I'd like for you to do is we're going to take another 1 minute. And this time what I'd like for you to do is to draw a line on your card from top to bottom. So in between random and numbers all the way down. And from the number 82 all the way across your card. This time, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to do the same. I'll give you the same amount of time. But I want you to notice that where the number 1 is, the number 2 is, the number 3 is, and the number 4. And what you will find is that there is a sequential order. All right? So I'm going to give you the same amount of time. On your mark, get set, go. Do that same task, given that new information.
We start where we left off? Or?
You can start where you left off, or you can start at the beginning, whichever you prefer. And stop. How was that? How was the second time? Was it better? Yeah. As supervisors, we can ask employees to do incredible things, and they'll do it as long as we give them the appropriate structure in which to do it. Are these numbers random? Are they random? No, they're not random, right? There is a systemic way in which they're organized. But looking at it, it's easy to say that they're random because we don't. This is what I will say. The only history that there is the history you don't know, and that there is no chaos. There's just order that we can't understand. My name is Koen. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate being here. Thank you.